Alright guys, so I posted my artwork on the Blender subreddit the other day, and it kind of got kind of good response there. And I got this person asking me if I would want to make a tutorial about it. Do let him know. I was like, I honestly never thought of doing any tutorial, but if people are looking for it, I would be down to do it. And people got back to me here on in the replies, and they were like, okay, let's do it. I'm looking for it too. That'd be great. I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. I'm gonna show you guys how I did this. It's like actually, I should stop talking and show you guys first what that actually is for those who don't know. This is the basic lo-fi moody type of scene that I did on Blender. Music by Palvo, by the way. Okay, let me clear for a few things first. So I had this person asking me, where is it at? Yeah, he was like, he would want to see, I'm sorry, they would want to see how I got that window effect, like this one. It's actually a mixed shader. You would mix the translucent and the glass shader. Let me show that actually real quick. I have a scene ready. Okay, so this is the scene. Okay. So this is how I like to work in Blender. I would split my screen and work on the right. So this is the shader. This is the translucent shader. I call it wig, and it's basically a make shader between the translucent and the glass. Dude, it's so hard to talk while doing something. I can't. How do people do this? So this is glass and translucent. This is the vector. This is a mix shader between it. Really anticlimactic, nothing special. And I also about the shader thing. I've had so many people reach out to me asking what kind of shader do you use? Is it a toon shader? What kind is a cell shading? Well, it's gonna be really anticlimactic too, but it's just basic principle BSDF shader. Is that BSDF? Is that what? Is that BSDF? Yes, that's what it is. It's really the only thing that I do is I would turn the specularity down to 0, and everything is at the default value. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't use any special shader. It's just the lightning. I would get to it too. And let's go back to Reddit real quick. I'm sorry for dogs barking outside. I can't do anything about it. They piss me off every night. But the point is, I had one person asking, actually the same person asking, how I got the fire. About fire, it's actually done in After Effects. It's basically a smoke overlay that I got from YouTube, and I added a glow on top of it. It's really, I didn't do it in Blender. That's the point. So it's really easy. It's a perfect thing. So let's move on to freestyles. That's the main part. That's probably the reason why you're watching this, right? So this is a scene with no compositing done right now. It has nothing on it right now. It's just a basic scene set up with modeling and lightning, and this is fully rendered, and you wouldn't see any strokes on it. Pretty plain, pretty mundane. So let's see the freestyle. I actually have it turned on already, but it wouldn't render because I think I have no line set here. So there are actually two. Actually, let me add one, and let me try to render it right now. So there are two ways to apply freestyles on your renders. Is either you would add freestyle to this layer that you're on right now, or you would make a new layer and render those freestyles on that new layer, and then stack that layer on top of this one. But I think that one is more approachable because that's how you work in industry. I guess that's how you work on Photoshop, because if you would want to make any changes in future with the strokes, you can change strokes independently. You can composite strokes independently. I think that's the thing. Yeah, so this is a really I don't know what's wrong with it. I think it's thickness turned up really high. It's 5, but if you turn that to 1, let me do that real quick. And I should probably using Eevee for the sake of tutorial, but Let's see how this goes. Okay, so we have these lines here. They're kind of close. They look good, but there's this problem with it. They don't look very natural. Looks like they're generated with a computer, and they look really plain. There's no tapering happening, and that's not what we're after. So what you're gonna want to do is, first of all, I prefer working on a separate layer for freestyles. So what I'm gonna do right now here is I'm gonna turn off freestyle from this layer actually. Remove this line set, not that it matters, but delete that, and turn off freestyles for this layer. Make a new layer, and we're gonna call it freestyles. I'm terrible with spelling. I hope that's correct. Freestyles, and I would add a new line set just for the sake of tutorial. Actually, I'm gonna go to Eevee for now, and I'm gonna try to render this right now. It should be the same. The result should be the same as we had before. It's just, oh, actually, no, you wouldn't get that because we didn't composite it yet. So go to composite tab, and I already have this. This is gonna be the main layer, and this is gonna be the freestyle layer. And we're gonna actually click on new use nodes. I forgot. Click on use nodes up there, of course. And what is it called? Alpha overlay? I'm not sure. Alpha over. Oh, that's alpha over. And stack freestyle here. And the main layer here. The reason why you see freestyle like this and not just freestyle is because it's in Eevee. You don't have that ability to I'll render only freestyles in Eevee, so I don't actually use Eevee for this thing. I'm just using it right now for the sake of the tutorial. But it's something went terrible. What? This is a fail. Okay, well, wow. It really is hard to talk while doing something. Okay, so this is how it looks. It's just the same, nothing too exciting right now. But if you go to this tab and open up this the freestyle tab, and we open line set, this is where the real magic happens, right? So you would want to go, first of all, I think I like to work with collections. I would turn on collections, and I would click on the end of the world. That is the collection that all of these objects are in, and so it would only affect this collection. And so I would go to thickness, and I would add a modifier. It's going to be a long stroke because we're after that tapering effect. We're gonna go and change the curve, linear to curve, and gonna give this graph this sort of shape. So basically what this graph translates to is essentially the y-axis is going to be the thickness of the stroke, and the x-axis is, I guess, supposed to be the length of the stroke. So basically what this translates to is the middle of the stroke would be thicker than the edges of the stroke, the ends of the stroke, I'm sorry. And you'd have that tapering effect. Let's try to render that right now, and let's see what happens. This is Eevee, by the way, again. And we do see these strokes here, but they're really tiny, teeny strokes. And I think we're going to want to increase their value a bit. Actually, turn that up to 40. I've already experimented with this value, at least for my resolution. You're probably going to want to change this to relative if you're working with different dimensions. I mean, different resolutions. I work with 1080 most of the time. I don't go above or below it. So this is my value that I put. I actually don't even do this very often. I just use the same blend file over and over and just work on top of it. So this is what we have. It's looking good. We have that tapering effect going on here. See that? Really nice. It looks like it's been inked. You have that pen pressure effect, if that's what you call it. Like if you'd work on Photoshop and try to make clean lines, and you'd have that tapering going on because of the pen pressure. So that's kind of it, really. It's really not that hard. And as I think I already told that I'm not using any special shader. It's just the lightning. So I think we're gonna go over the lightning now. So I don't use any. Oh well, actually, let's switch back to cycles too. So the thing is, I don't use any uh ambient occlusion. I don't use it at all. It says turn off. The I would only color. I give like a slight hue to the world color, and probably I've turned it up so I drive my brightness of the scene from the world, and I would have one or two directional lights coming on to my environment. Where in this scene specifically, I already have one side light coming on. I think this is supposed to. So also, there's one thing that I like to work on my backgrounds. I paint these backgrounds on Photoshop before actually working on 3D scene. So in hindsight, I would know that how the lightning is supposed to look. So this light is supposed to be that's probably I don't know. It's I think it's supposed to be the burning fire coming on to this scene, or I think it can be sun, whatever. It just makes sense to that light is coming from there. So I gave it like a really strong hue, and then give it this rotation. It has a really what do you call this, horizontal-ish angle, if I said that right. And yeah, this is what we have.